You're listening to the Laura Ingraham Show. Michael Savage is one of the most listened to radio hosts in the United States. He's a publishing juggernaut. His brand new book out today, and I'm breaking this. Trickle Down Tyranny, Crushing Obama's Dream of the Socialist States of America. I am delighted he joins me now. And Michael, congratulations on another tour de force. How are you?
Laura, you know, sometimes life imitates... First of all, thank you for having me on your show. Sorry to be so impolite. But I'm on the edge of my seat because sometimes life imitates art. Here yesterday, the president attacks, really threatens the Supreme Court justices with an unprecedented warning. I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. The man thinks he's king. He calls the Supreme Court justices this group of unelected people, and if they dare to overturn my Castro care, what is he doing? Threatening them, Laura? You're a former Supreme Court clerk, Laura. Have you ever heard of a president threatening a Supreme Court justice? I know it happened in the days of Jackson, who said, now that you've ruled in force, but it's been quite a while since Jackson, hasn't it?
Yes, and it's the Chicago way. I mean, that's what you do, right? It's the Chicago way. And
what do you mean? You mean he's actually...
threatening?
Do you really think he... Laura, that statement, a group of unelected people... Have you heard a president refer to Supremes as that, unelected people, before? What does he mean by that?
Well, look, the only thing that we know now, and you write about this in your book, is that America is in decline. And apparently there is no one in the lamestream media, dinosaur media, whatever we want to call it. There's really no one who is interested in having a serious conversation about how to turn this thing around. Because we're going to talk about his wonderful family and the basketball clinics he's teaching, or Michelle's planting her garden, or she's at the Nickelodeon Awards, or Brangelina's in the White House. We're just not going to have a conversation about what's happening with China, Russia, Brazil, or anything that's happening with terrorism against Christians in the Middle East. We're not talking about it.
They blew up the Middle East. These crazy leftists have blown up the entire Middle East. I predicted that we'd have an Islamist running Egypt. You look at the entire Arab Crescent, it's in chaos. Now, Laura, imagine your worst fears, and you're going to have some or all of it if Obama is reelected. You take your worst fears. You know and I know that there's a risk we'll lose the Second Amendment. You know and I know it's a given he's going to grant amnesty to illegal aliens. You and I both know he'll eliminate the Defense of Marriage Act. Now go down the shopping list of fears that you have about this man, and you will see them come true if the man is reelected. This is not a joke. I think that we're in... Laura, let me put it this way. Many people are skeptical. They figure, okay, Savage is just hyping a new book, Trickle Down Tyranny. Why should I listen to him? Does anyone listening to this show truly feel more safe under Obama than they did before he took office?
No.
Does anyone listening to this show, can they honestly admit that they don't look over their shoulder out of fear that they're being monitored or screened by the NSA or the Department of Homeland Security?
No, cameras are
Laura,
everywhere.
Everyone's living with their heads over their shoulders. They're worried about what they write in emails. They're worried that what they say in public could be misconstrued by some crazy person in the intelligence apparatus. They're afraid of having a knock at the door in the middle of the night. So what are we living in now, a free society or a crypto dictatorship under Obama?
I think the point you raised in your book about the National Defense Authorization Act, and it was signed into law secretly New Year's Eve by the president, and the authorization to kill U.S. citizens abroad, and you know, a lot of Republican candidates, they don't want to talk about this. I guess Ron Paul's the only one who's really raised it. I'm very uncomfortable with the United States having that power. Very uncomfortable.
Laura, even the ACLU was shocked by the NDAA passed on New Year's Eve. His own Justice Department was shocked by it. Are we now living in an Argentina where the dictator said, listen, I have the right to have anyone whacked or picked up in the middle of the night by the military, but don't worry about it. He said this. I'm quoting him now. He said, don't worry, I won't use this power. Should you believe him? No. The NDAA is the most anti-freedom act ever signed into American law, and the complicit media let it go almost unnoticed, Laura. So when I say trickle-down tyranny, I'm not joking. It's not hype. It's real. People don't even understand how real it is.
We're talking to Michael Savage. His new book is just out, and Michael is one of the most prominent voices on the radio and in print in the United States of America, and still banned, right, from England. You still can't go to England at all. You're on the
unfortunately, I can't
no-fly
go
list.
there. Laura, I can't get into England, and damn, I was looking forward to the dental care that I'd receive under their health plan. I really was looking forward to the cuisine of England. And when I was banned, I said, there goes my summer trip to the land of the free and the home of the Magna Carta. Unbelievable. Laura, can I read one line to you? Because I think this line will live forever. It's the opening line to my book. And here it is. Economies can be rebuilt. Armies can be repopulated. But once a nation's pride is gone, it can almost never be restored. The loss of a nation's honor is something not even centuries can repair. I believe that that's the most important sentence I've ever written. Because if you look at the Republican field, you do not see any of them talking about the nation's honor, do you? You see technocrats telling us how they're going to tweak this or tweak that. They never refer to America as an entity. They, too, have bought into the Kool-Aid that we're just another nation amongst many.
We're talking to Michael Savage on the Laura Ingraham Show. And, Michael, this is what Felipe Calderon said through an interpreter yesterday, standing next to the President of the United States after he did that Chicago-style hit on the Supreme Court. Listen closely. This is through the interpreter, and he's describing what Mexico's medical system is like. Let's listen.
Oh, my God.
Of the 120 of 12 million Mexicans, 106 million will have efficient, effective, universal health care coverage. So I would say that that I would hope that one of the greatest economies in the world, such as the United States, could follow our example in achieving this.
Oh, my God.
Because it was a great thing.
So now we should follow Mexico's example. Should we have the same number of beheadings that Mexico has, too? Is that part of the,
Laura, you know what
the way we should copy them?
The Mexico healthcare system is so good that I think Congress should go there for their medical care and experience it firsthand, and then come back to we the people and tell us about the glories of Mexican medical care. You know, the empty clinics, the dirty smocks, the uneducated doctors. That really is the ticket for the future. I don't call it Obamacare. I call it Castro care. This is the greatest scam in American history.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, your questions for Michael Savage, 800-876-4123. His book, just out today, first big interview, national interview, Trickle Down Tyranny. It's do or die. And what does this mean for the conservative movement, the Republican Party? Who can possibly defeat Barack Obama? And I know a lot of cynics out there say, does it matter? We're so far in the hole now. Who wants this job of being president? How do you overcome the chasm between reality and what the option is politically to do anything about the problems we face? We'll get into all of that with Michael and your phone calls. Again, 800-876-4123.
I just remind conservative commentators that for years what we've heard is the biggest problem on the bench was judicial activism or a lack of judicial restraint.
He pulls a knife, you pull a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue. That's the Chicago way.
The Laura Ingraham Show.